Hi, welcome again. Now we're gonna do the day 45 lab of the 100 days of cloud series. Recently I tried to finish that day 45 lab, but I definitely failed. So now we're gonna try to do it together, and then we will complete the whole challenge. So here the title is configure NAT Gateway for internet access in a private VPC. So probably we're gonna have to make a virtual machine is accessible internet in a private VPC. So that will be the key point for this lab. So let me click the video button. So here you can click the start button. So let me go to appdrawer.com. So here we're gonna wait a few seconds. So here I prepare an architecture diagram like this. Now we are on the internet, kind of like now we are on the AWS client host. So anyway, so here within this private VPC, we have two kinds of subnet. One is for private, another one is for public. So within a private VPC, we will have the EC2 instance. EC2 instance is actively running within the private VPC, but the EC2 instance has no internet access, so that's the problem. So that's why this EC2 instance cannot upload a file to this S3 bucket. So only when it gets internet access, it can run, a cron job to upload a test file to this S3 bucket. So we're gonna make this EC2 instance has internet access across these components. So here we have the public subnet. So the reason why we create a public subnet is to run the NAT gateway, to associate with this NAT gateway. So across the NAT gateway, we associate with this public route table, and then we will associate with this internet gateway. So finally across the internet gateway, so this EC2 instance can get internet access truly. Alright, so that's a key point, the workflow diagram of this lab. Alright, now we're gonna read this given instruction. So let me copy first this given instruction. So the nautilus that obtained is tagged with enabling internet access for an EC2 instance. Like I said before, they are trying to make EC2 instance has internet access, running in a private subnet. So this EC2 instance is actively running in a private subnet. So this instance should be able to upload a test file to a public S3 bucket. So S3 bucket is a remote storage place, alright? So once it can access the internet. So to achieve this, the team must set up a NAT gateway. So without setting up a NAT gateway, so they consider that this EC2 instance cannot get internet access. So we have to create a NAT gateway in a public subnet, not private subnet. Remember this. So we have to bear in mind that. So within that same VPC, but here the VPC is the same. So VPC name is this, and the private subnet name is this. Those are already been created, so we don't need to create a new VPC, we don't need to create the private subnet, but we have to create a public subnet to set up a NAT gateway. So let me get this VPC ID and subnet ID. So I will copy this sentence and I will find in the new tab. So how to get ID of this in AWS. Let me find like this from terminal. Okay, great. So I will run this to get the VPC ID, and I will run this to get the subnet ID. So this subnet ID is private subnet ID. So I will copy this value somewhere. Let me copy like this, because probably we have to use this VPC ID and subnet IDs later. And I will, sorry again. So let me change that this private is with a red color. Let me change this to green color. Okay, great. So within this private subnet, let me check for the private route table. So here I will ask the how to get a private route table list of this subnet, private subnet. Because here we have to configure something within this private route table later. That's why I want to try to get a private route table ID ahead. So let me find this. So okay, let me run this command. So we don't even have the route table ID. So how about the within the VPC. So within the VPC, let me check the route table ID. So we have the route table. How to get the route table name? So we have this route table ID. So let me get the route table name of this route table ID. So how to get name of this route table from VPC. So I will run this command. So here I don't get any name. So how about this? Okay, here. So can I associate this route table ID so how to let me check it out. How to check this route table is private. So if it is private, I will directly associate with a private subnet. So let me check it out. Here, so it is not it's not private, so yeah, this CINDR range is limit of that, right? So gateway. So okay, let me copy this, and so I will paste right here. So this is a private. That's okay. But okay, so can I associate this private route table with recent private subnet together? Okay. Yeah, it's something wrong right here. Yeah, so we will associate the route table with a private subnet. All right, so let me run this. So an error occur route table is user does not own a resource own. So what's wrong? Let me check it again. So name is Nautilus, subnet ID is output test. So route table is manual alternative. Okay, let me run this. Okay. I get an error. So error is F0. So this is a private subnet ID, right? So why I give that? So this is not correct. So the correct ID is right here. So I will remove this. Anyway, route table ID is that correct? Route table ID is, where is that? Okay, route table ID is here. I will paste somewhere. Okay, this is a route table ID ending with the F545. Okay, great. So now I will run this command to associate together. Okay, great. So now let me check it again, the recent comment. Here is the private VPC. Okay, within the subnet. Let me check with this. Okay, so now we will see this private route table ID. Great. So now we keep reading right here. So EC2 Instance is here. EC2 Instance names this. That's already running in a private subnet. Alright, so the EC2 Instance is configured with a cron job that uploads a test file to a bucket. So bucket name is this. So once internet is accessible. So now we're gonna have to create a public subnet, right? So in the same VPC. So I will copy this and I will find a new tab. So how to create an AWS from terminal. So I will find like this. So we're gonna have to run this command. So here is create subnet and VPC ID here. We need to get the VPC ID. So VPC ID is right here. So I'm gonna replace right there. So before I give this CIDR range, I need to know this private subnet CIDR range because I don't want to make a conflict. So how to get CIDR range of range of this subnet in AWS from terminal. Let me find like this. So I'm gonna run this command. Okay, so here is 10.1.1.0. So I think we can create, we can get like 1.2 here. So I will get like this. So now I will create the public subnet. Okay, so we successfully create a public subnet. So public subnet IP address ID we can get from here. So public subnet ID is here. So this is a public subnet ID. So okay. Then this is from the route table, private route table. I will change the color. So this is the public subnet ID. Okay, great. So now we keep reading. We have to create an internet gateway. So how do we create this? So I will copy this. And then we have to attach the internet gateway with the VPC. So I will copy it in the new tab and how to create an AWS from terminal. So so to create the internet gateway, so here it is not mentioned about the internet gateway name. So let me get the internet gateway name is like this, you know, nautilus, nautilus, nautilus IGW. Here, yeah, we can get like that. So now we have to run this command with the task specifications. Now I'm gonna run this command. So I will copy this internet gateway ID somewhere. Let me change the color. So we get the internet gateway ID, and then we have to attach the internet gateway to our VPC. That VPC is private VPC. So internet gateway ID we have to use right here again. So we can get here and then replace the internet gateway ID and the VPC ID again. So this is a VPC ID. Alright, so replace that. Okay, so we finished for this step, and we will keep doing for the next step. So here we have to create a route table. So this time this route table is mainly for the public subnet, not private subnet. We already have the private subnet right here, private subnet and private route table. Now we're gonna have to create a route table for this public subnet, right? So okay, so I will copy this sentence and I will find a new tab. That would be easier. Okay, how to create an AWS from terminal. So here we have to run this command. Oh, sorry. So we need to replace that VPC ID. So VPC ID is private VPC ID the same. So we can use this VPC ID and replace it. And then we're gonna run this command to create a route table for the public subnet. So, and then we had to associate with the public subnet, right? So before we associate with the public subnet, let we add the new route within the route table. So we had to run this command. So route table directions is from the 0.0.0.0/ to the gateway ID. So like this. So this is a route table, public route table. So within the route table, we had to create this route from public access to the internet gateway from 0.0.0.0/0. That means internet, right? From 0.0.0/0 to internet gateway, right? So now we run this command to add a new route within the route table, public route table. So route table ID is, so we can get from here. So this is a route table ID, public route table ID. So I will paste right here. So let me change the same color. Okay, so I will replace right here. So destination CID below range is here, 0.0.0.0. Okay. So, and then we need to get the internet gateway ID. So internet gateway ID is this. So I will run this. Okay, so we get the return value is true. Now we are able to run this third command to associate with the public subnet with the route table. So route table ID is again here. We need to replace the correct route table ID. So here I will copy this. And then subnet ID. So subnet ID is not private subnet ID. Remember this. Now we are doing this pathway, this destination, right? So here from the public route table to this internet gateway. So I will get this public subnet ID, and then I will run this. Okay, great. So here we successfully associate together. Great. So now what is the next step? The next step is we have to allocate an elastic IP. So I will find in the new tag again how to allocate an AWS from terminal. So we have to run this command. So first of all, we have to create the allocate address. Okay, so we get this EIP allocate address. So I'm gonna copy that somewhere. So this is EIP allocate address, and then I'm gonna run this second command to create the NAT gateway. So this NAT gateway is within the public subnet, right? So here we need to get the public subnet ID. So public subnet ID is this one. So I will run this. I will remove this. So this is not correct. Okay, we're gonna replace the correct one. Here also EIP allocate address, IP address IP is this. Oh, sorry, this one. Actually, this not IP is ID. So here we need to get the correct nautilus NAT gateway name. So now we run this. Okay, great. So what is the next step? So the next step is we have to update the private route table 0.0.0/0 traffic via the NAT gateway. So how do we update this? So I will ask this one within the right here. Okay. So I will run this. I'm gonna run this is for NAT gateway. So we already have the NAT gateway ID right here. So we don't need to run that one. So NAT gateway, sorry. Okay, here, this one. NAT gateway ID is this one. So, alright. So I will run this second command to add a route to the table, private route table. So here destination CID below range is 0.0.0/0. So you will see that here the direction is from 0.0.0 to the NAT gateway, right? So NAT gateway ID is, we need to replace the correct one. So right here, this is the NAT gateway ID. Replace it. So route table ID is right here, private route table ID. We're gonna have to add the new route within a private route table ID. Okay, great. So I'm gonna run this command. Okay, so we get a return value true. So let me verify the updating route configurations with this command. Okay, great. So I think finally we complete every single configurations. Now we have to verify that the EC2 instance can reach the internet by confirming the presence of the test file in the S3 bucket. So now we have to check the S3 bucket. So S3 bucket is located with here. S3 bucket name is this. So after completing all the configuration, please wait a few minutes. Here we have to wait maybe two or 3 minutes for the test file to appear in the bucket. So let me check with the AWS S3 ls S3. Okay, so finally we see the nautilus-txt.txt file. So let me copy that file right here again. So wait, AWS S3 CP S3 / sorry, broken name is this. Oh, sorry, this is not correct command. Correct command is, I will copy this current directory. Oh, this is not correct. I had to copy the specific file. So specific file is nautilus-text.txt. Okay, so ls. So let me read this file. Oh, there's nothing. Okay, so finally we get this nautilus-test.txt file. So to be more accurate, let me go this AWS console. Let me check there again. So this is IAM username and this is the password. So okay, sign in. So where is the S3? So S3 is right here. Click the S3. So S3 broken name is right here. So we click this. So within this bracket. So finally we see the nautilus.txt file. Alright, so we finished for this last. So let me check it out and click confirm. So the key point is one of the key points. Don't forget to associate this private route table with this private subnet. So because we didn't get the route table within this private subnet, but within this private VPC, we see the private route table with the specific CIDR range. So therefore, we need to associate this private route table and this public subnet together, because we are trying to make the EC2 instance is reachable to the internet. So here we wait a few seconds. I think it's the validating the process. Yeah. So finally we successfully did it for this challenge. So if I can do it, you can also do it too. So thanks for watching. See you in the next coming video.